sweetest, most flattering things that you asked me to marry you, so I'm gonna give you a little smooch. Thank you very much. And no. I've thought about it, I want to see other crowds. How sweet was that? Very sweet. Thank you very much. These are... Do I want Nah, Mitch, I'm good, thanks. Because you want her? Where are you taking her, Mitch? She wanna fuck me, not you. Where are you taking this girl? You little scoundrel. I'll give you a little smooch, dude, because you're so sweet. No, you're not getting kicked out right there. Come here, here. Thank you. Why don't kick her out? It's what it says. You know, she's a sweet girl. Just wants to... Every girl in here is like, should have made a fucking sign. I thought that was the dumbest idea I've ever heard in my life. Okay, so a couple things that I want to share with you guys before we get out of here and go to our tailgate parties and such. I want to thank you guys. You were really cool to let me talk a little about my mom earlier tonight. I thought that was really, that made me feel great. Thank you for letting me talk about Don and Jean. I miss it. Let's start this. Can we go on a bit of an emotional journey together? Can we hold hands and go on a little journey, you and I together, please? Let's do this. Okay, so basically, here's where the story starts. Here's what you don't know. Okay, there's some good news, bad news situations here that we'll have to work through together. When my mom was sick with cancer, people don't know this, that at that time, my dad, actually, he also had cancer. I lost both of my folks within 9 months of each other to cancer. And to say it was a traumatic, impossible time for me and my sisters would be an understatement. And yet, almost every single night, you guys, I found myself getting on stage because nothing made me feel better than making you guys feel better. Nothing. Sincerely. But the good news is they got to see all the cool shit. They got to be in big rooms like this, see their son come through with all these crazy dreams, and they got to sit with you guys, and they had a blast, okay? They saw that. Now, here's where it gets a little bit... I think I'm getting laid in Florida. I'm very shy on stage, but I'm feeling pretty good about my odds. So needless to say, so again with my folks, it was difficult, and yet I was so happy to perform and do what they raised me to do. So they got to see the good stuff. They didn't get to see kind of the weird shit that goes along. Once you become kind of more famous or have celebrity, that's when a lot of backlash happens. That's when negative people, haters, they come out of the woodwork and they try to take away what you've done. And I didn't even really know about that, you guys, because I was so close with you guys, my fans. I never really left the bubble to see what other people even thought or cared about until one night. One night I really fucked up, okay? The first night that I ever searched my own name on the internet, okay? Which, no, I hadn't done until a few years ago. An ego search. I never did an ego search because I just didn't really, it's not like me to do that. And I called a friend of mine, I go, hey man, kind of a historic day, I'm going to search my own name on the internet. And he got really quiet, right? I go, I'm gonna search my name. He gets really quiet and he goes, do you want me to stay on the phone with you? And I was like, is that necessary? He was like, yeah, I should come over. I put my name in the search engine, and when I went to hit search, even Google was like, don't do this. You're a good guy, DC, don't do this to yourself. What happened next? I couldn't believe it. Pages of all this negativity. Like, Dane Cook he sucks, he's shit, his comedy's the worst ever, fucking, you should die, disappear, all this stuff. That's what I said. That's what I said out loud to the computer. I said, boo. Boo. No, here's what I did. The mistake I made, you guys, I read all of it. I sat there and I just couldn't stop. I read for probably 2.5, 3 hours. And after that 3-hour period, even I was like, this Dane Cook is a douchebag. I no longer support me. I read all this stuff, and so now I'm all polluted, my head's fucked up. Now it gets even a little worse. Hold on to your assholes, because this is gonna get interesting. 2 days later, open up my email. Most of the emails are really wonderful from you guys. Dane, I know you're going through a lot. Keep on doing your thing, you know, you're making through all that. Until finally one email just changed everything. It was the very first email in the inbox, and I should have known by the name immediately that it was gonna be trouble. The name that popped up in the inbox, anonymous@yahoo.com. That's the name that popped up. Yeah, that's the name that I saw. And when I saw the name, my knee-jerk reaction, I was like, great fucking name. This is the Anonymous, not Anonymous 2258 kitty kitty lick lick. No. I was almost starstruck. This is the Anonymous. I look at the subject line, 3 words. Please read this. My reaction, indeed. Click. I open it up. I brought the letter with me, Fort Lauderdale. If you'll allow me, I'd like to read this. Get a helmet. Here it is. The letter from anonymous@yahoo.com. Please read this. Dane, both of your parents got cancer and died to get away from your shitty comedy. My first reaction when I read that, I was like, very unlikely. That's gonna be some bullshit. No, I couldn't believe you guys. It was like somebody just kicked me in the chest, right? I walked away from the computer, and this was on my mind for a couple of years, just heavy in my heart. I would think about that. How could somebody write something so evil and just hateful? And from time to time, it would bum me out. It would really, honestly, take the wind out of my sails. But other times, you guys, I would think of it, and it would motivate me to give the best shows of my life. It made me, It made me want to be better for you guys. Come up with new shit for me. Share everything out here, live, on the road, doing it. So, check this shit out, okay? Weird the way the world works. Almost 2 years to the day, guess who decides to write me a little follow-up email? I got the letter right here. Almost 2 years to the day, I open up my inbox, you guys. First one, anonymous@yahoo.com. And I stared at it for a second. And to myself, first thing I thought was, great fucking name. And then I remembered everything I went through from that letter. And I probably stared at it for a good 40 minutes thinking, Dane, just delete it, walk away. Don't do this, don't deal with it again. And I was going to do that until I looked at the subject line. And it said, same 3 words, please read this. My reaction, indeed. What have we learned here is that I'm a sucker for a polite subject line. I open up, this is the actual email, you guys, from Anonymous, 2 years to the day. Check this out. Dane, I was drinking out of work and depressed when I wrote you that letter a couple of years ago. I am myself dealing with my father dying of a brain tumor. I respect and understand you now, Anonymous. So I read this a couple of times and then I thought to myself, you know what? I think it's time to write back. Here's my reply to Anonymous. Subject line, please read this. Anonymous, your father got a brain tumor because he was tired of thinking about his drunk, jobless, spineless fuckface of a son. I win.